Okay, get ready to explore the soul trap theory, a concept that challenges how we think about life, death, and the nature of reality itself. We're diving into an article that lays out this intriguing and some might say unsettling theory.
It really makes you question everything you thought you knew about the afterlife. Instead of a peaceful journey for your soul after death, imagine finding yourself in a cosmic escape room, and not the fun kind.
Right. It's like, forget reaching some heavenly paradise or enjoying a blissful reincarnation according to this theory, your soul gets snagged. But how does this so-called trap actually work?
Well, the article points to the idea of simulated reality as a key part of the theory. Think of it like this. What if the world as we experience it is actually a carefully constructed illusion, a program designed to keep us in check?
Okay, so we're in a simulation, kind of like the Matrix. But instead of battling rogue AI, we're trapped in some kind of cosmic game. But what's the purpose? Why go through this whole elaborate charade of life, death, and recycled souls?
That's where things get really interesting. This is where we have to ask, is this simulated reality inherently flawed? Are there glitches in the system, signs that we can learn to spot, clues that reveal the code beneath the surface?
And if we can find those glitches, could that be a way to break free?
Right.
I mean, if our reality is a program, then maybe there are back doors, loopholes we haven't even considered.
That's a possibility the article explores. Some proponents of this theory believe that becoming aware of the simulated nature of our reality is the first step toward liberation.
So, by waking up to the truth, to the mechanics of the simulation, we can start to see the bars of our cosmic cage. But who are the architects of this supposed trap? Who's behind the curtain, pulling the strings?
The article examines different viewpoints on this. Some point to figures like David Icke, who proposes the idea of reptilian overlords manipulating us for their own gain.
Right, the reptilian overlord theory is definitely a popular one, even if it sounds a little out there.
It's important to note that while the article presents Icke's view, it doesn't endorse it as fact. It simply highlights the diverse range of thought on this topic.
So reptilian overlords are just one possibility among many. What are some of the other explanations? Because honestly, the idea of these shape-shifting beings secretly controlling the world feels a little too much like a sci-fi movie.
Some theories propose less sinister possibilities. What if the purpose of this supposed soul trap isn't malicious, but rather observational?
You mean like we're part of some grand cosmic experiment?
Exactly. Imagine if we are subjects in a vast study on consciousness, evolution, and the nature of existence itself.
Okay, that's a bit less frightening than the reptilian overlord scenario, but still pretty wild to think about.
It definitely makes you question everything you thought you knew. But instead of getting caught up in who or what might be behind it all, perhaps the real question is, what does this mean for us? How does this knowledge change our understanding of free will, of choice, of the very fabric of our reality?
That's a really good point. If our lives are essentially pre-programmed, does that mean we're just puppets dancing on a cosmic string? Do we even have a say in our own destinies?
That's a question that has puzzled philosophers for centuries. But within the context of the soul trap theory, it takes on even greater significance.
Because if we are trapped, understanding the nature of the trap might be the key to escaping it.
Precisely. But before we delve into potential escape routes, let's talk about one of the most intriguing and perhaps unsettling aspects of this theory: near-death experiences. You see, many people who have had near-death experiences report seeing a bright light, feeling a sense of peace, even encountering deceased loved ones.
Right, like a beautiful, comforting experience.
It's often interpreted as a glimpse into a peaceful afterlife, but the soul trap theory has a different take on these NDEs, doesn't it?
Right, it does. It does. So instead of a gateway to heaven,
Yes.
it's a trap.
According to this theory, those comforting images and sensations might actually be part of the trap itself.
Oh, wow.
Imagine it as a lure,
Okay.
something designed to entice souls back into the cycle before they fully awaken to the true nature of their reality.
So that warm, welcoming light
Yes.
isn't what it seems. It's more like a cosmic
That's the unsettling suggestion.
spiderweb.
Yeah.
Like drawing us back in.
Put forth by proponents of this theory.
Wow. Okay.
It raises the question, what happens if we choose not to go towards the light?
Right.
What if, recognizing it as part of the trap, we resist its pull?
That's a chilling thought, but also kind of empowering. It's like saying we have a choice, even in death. But if we're constantly being recycled, memories wiped clean, how can we even remember the trap exists in the first place?
That's where the idea of spiritual sovereignty comes in. The article suggests that becoming aware of the trap is just the first step.
Okay.
The real challenge is reclaiming our spiritual autonomy, our ability to choose our own path, even within the confines of this potentially simulated reality.
So how do we do that? How do
Yeah.
we break free from a system
Right.
that seems designed to keep us in the dark?
The article suggests that the memories of our true nature, of our experiences beyond this life,
Oh.
may not be entirely erased.
Oh.
They might linger in our subconscious,
Right.
surfacing in our dreams, intuitions,
Right.
or even in an instinctive aversion to certain ideas or situations.
So those weird dreams I have,
It's a possibility.
that nagging feeling that something isn't quite right.
Think of it like this.
Yeah.
If our reality is a program, then maybe these seemingly random thoughts and feelings are actually glitches in the matrix, cracks in the facade that reveal a deeper truth.
That's a fascinating concept.
Yeah,
But if those memories are buried so deep,
right.
how do we access them? How do we use them to reclaim our spiritual sovereignty?
That's where things get a little less clear-cut. The article mentions various practices,
Okay.
from meditation and mindfulness to exploring ancient spiritual traditions,
Right.
that some believe can help awaken these buried memories and unlock our true potential.
So it's about actively seeking knowledge, about questioning everything,
Precisely.
but exploring different practices to see what resonates with our deepest selves.
It's about becoming conscious creators of our own reality, even within the limitations that might be imposed upon us. And perhaps, in that act of conscious creation, we can begin to unravel the threads of the trap itself.
It's like we have this inner compass, this
Mhm.
intuitive sense of what's real and what's not, but it's buried under layers of programming.
Right.
And the key is to clear away the static and learn to trust that inner voice again.
Exactly. It's about rediscovering that inner knowing, that connection to something greater than ourselves, even if we don't yet understand what that something is.
So even if we're not sure about all the details of the soul trap theory, the core message is about empowerment. It's about realizing we have more agency than we might think, even in a reality that could be an illusion.
Absolutely. Whether or not one subscribes to this theory in its entirety, simply engaging with these ideas can be transformative. It prompts us to question our assumptions, explore different perspectives, and ultimately to take responsibility for our own spiritual evolution.
It's almost as if the journey of questioning, of seeking truth and meaning, is its own form of liberation, regardless of what we find at the end of it.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. It's not necessarily about reaching a final destination, but about the journey itself, about the continuous expansion of awareness and understanding.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about. We've explored the possibility that our reality is a simulation, considered the motivations of potential architects, and even questioned the true nature of near-death experiences.
We've ventured into some pretty mind-bending territory, but ultimately, I think it comes down to a simple yet profound question. What do we choose to believe? And how do those beliefs shape our experience of reality?
That's a question we all have to answer for ourselves.
Yeah.
But maybe, just maybe, by opening ourselves to these bigger questions, by daring to imagine different possibilities, we can start to break free from limiting beliefs and step into a greater understanding of who we truly are.
And perhaps that's the ultimate key to unlocking the soul's true potential, not escaping from some external trap, but rather liberating ourselves from the confines of our own limited perceptions.
It's like we're all on this cosmic quest searching for truth, for meaning, for connection.
Yeah.
And maybe the real treasure is the wisdom and self-awareness we gain along the way.
Beautifully said. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the soul trap theory.
To our listeners, if this conversation has sparked your curiosity, we encourage you to keep exploring. Read more, ask questions, and most importantly, trust your own intuition. Maybe, just maybe, the universe is whispering its secrets and all we have to do is learn to listen.